Always delighted to say hello to Coach Brian Kelly of LSU as the Tigers get ready to host Alabama Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Coach, good afternoon. Thanks so much for being here. And I know coaches are confident, but if we had told you back in July at media days that you would be in this spot with so much on the line, I'm sure you would have said absolutely. We most certainly will. Are you at all surprised by where this team is right now?
Well, I think anytime that you go in and you have a new way of doing things, and that's clearly, Paul, what this is about, right? A new head coach, a new way of, setting standards. You just don't know how the guys are going to react to it. And I'm really proud of the way they have just given everything to do the little things the right way. And that's not easy, right? I mean, making changes and, at my age is difficult to do. And 18 to 21-year-olds is even more difficult. So really proud of the way they've made the changes. And so, I don't know that I really kind of wrote down, hey, what that number looks like, but I'm really pleased with the progress that they've made addressing the changes that needed to be made here. And that was living up to the standards of the pride and tradition of LSU football.
Coach Kelly, we saw you a couple weeks ago before the Ole Miss game, and that game really helped you follow the Florida win and put yourself in this position. But the stakes are different now. Here we were talking about early games, mid-afternoon games, now primetime games. And I know you can't get ahead of yourself, but as you look at Alabama, you've seen this school before in your former jobs. What do you see when you see this team on film and obviously when you look down and look at their charts?
Well, look, I mean, it's the SEC. So the first thing you see is outstanding talent all around. But, it doesn't end there. It's outstanding coaching. So, when you take a group of outstanding athletes and then they're well coached and there's a consistency in what they do and what they're taught. You take those three things, Paul, consistency in their technique and what they do tactically. And then obviously the fundamentals for this football team is consistent in what they do week in and week out. And then they're obviously the talent level. You put all those things together. That's why Coach Saban has been as successful. He consistently brings out a team that's not just talented, but has all those other traits necessary to be a championship football team. And by the way, he's got the Heisman Trophy winner, who's, and I don't know if people talk about this enough. He's an outstanding quarterback. He's not just a runaround guy that's going to throw it up there. This guy is a poised pocket quarterback that is pretty impressive.
Coach, you mentioned Nick Saban, and I mean, we almost just robotically praise him for all of he has done, and you know that, and you know him well. But in terms of the two of you, being among the very best coaches in the game, when you talk to him, when you see him, what is your relationship and what do you guys talk about?
Well, we go all the way back to the Mid-American Conference where he was at Toledo. I was at Central Michigan. Obviously, his days at Michigan State, I'm quite familiar with a lot of people that, we've coached together with. So we have a lot of common friends and have been in the business a long time. Both of us well over 30 years and being head coaches. So, I just think there's so much respect for each other in terms of what each of us have gone through relative to the different, eras of college football, the great changes and being able to adjust, from, we talk about transfer portal today and NIL. It's been everything across the board over the past 30 years. And so I think it's just a mutual respect for the consistency in which he has year in and year out lived with the changes of college football, adapted, recruited, and been a representative of doing it the right way in college football.
Coach, you jokingly, or maybe it wasn't jokingly, alluded to your age, and certainly you're older than some of the young coaches that you coach against, but you're still 10 years younger than Nick Saban, who celebrated a birthday on Monday.
I reminded him of that too.
I mean, 10 years is it's not. It may not be that much between some ages, but it starts to wear on you when you consider what you guys do. What do you think keeps him going and at the top of the game at his age?
Well, first of all, he keeps himself in great shape. I mean, he takes care of himself. He's, so passionate about his health, and he sets a great model for his team too. By doing so, and then look, I mean, his passion is to be around student athletes and making a difference in their life, and so that's his why. Every morning he gets up, he wants to make a difference, and that's a motivator. So. People ask me all the time, when do you think Nick Saban's going to retire? I don't think he's going to retire. I think if Nick Saban's health is good, and I don't have any privy inside information, but if his health is good and he can continue to do the things that he loves to do, he's going to be coaching football for a lot longer.
And it's not really a question that we're asking you. We have asked him, but do you see yourself coaching at this level in 10 years, 15 years?
I think I'm of a similar philosophy now than maybe I was earlier in my career, is that I think health really drives it. If you love what you're doing, and I love this job at LSU, I love the administration. I love working for Scott. I love the people that I'm around and the fan base. It's for me what I've been looking for in my career, and so that energizes me, and I have so much to give to these young men on a day-to-day basis. If my health is good and they still want me back here each and every year, I'm going to keep showing up to work.
You may have noticed they're pretty happy with you so far. And I'd like to ask you about that before you get back to work, getting ready for this game, is that it seems like, not that you had anything to prove to the critics, but there was a lot of sniping when you took this job. I don't hear anyone sniping any longer. Does that matter to you, or do you just worry about what you can control?
Well, I mean, I'd rather have everybody in accord. Obviously, the fan base is going to be happier when you're winning football games. I get that. I've been doing this for a long time. But coming here to the state of Louisiana, I get what our fan base wants. They want a football team that represents the pride and tradition of LSU football. Play hard for 4 quarters, represent the university in a manner that this football team is well prepared, well coached, and they should have that expectation. And I told them, look, I don't know how many wins we're going to have this first year, but you should expect a team that plays hard for 4 quarters and is well coached. And I think we've delivered on that. We've got some flaws and we've got some work to do, but if we continue to work to that vein, I think this football team is going to get better and better.
Well, you're already ranked in the top 10. I know it's a flashpoint of the season, but expectations will continue to go up. Coach, I always feel terrible grabbing you out of whatever you're doing for an interview, but we certainly appreciate it and enjoy the conversations, and we hope to see you soon.
Enjoy being on, Paul. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Coach Brian Kelly joining us from Baton Rouge.